What is going on, Dominators? Rico Garcia with another amazing episode. And this one, listen to me closely, this one you're not going to want to miss. And you're going to want to stick all the way through to the end, because I really feel that with this particular episode, I feel like I am going to be giving you the most incredible free gift in the history of ever. And you'll see exactly why I'm saying this. And then above and beyond that, I actually want to make a very, very bold claim, as if the first one wasn't big enough. I am going to give you an opportunity to walk away from this podcast with $19,900 in real, no BS marketing that you can go ahead and start implementing in your business right now. So these are big, big claims, but believe me when I tell you, this is going to be that episode that if you take advantage of, it does have the potential to change the way that you look at your business, at your marketing, at your selling. And more importantly, you will have probably one of the coolest networks or access to information that anybody in our industry has. Now, I know that these are big claims, and I'm going to get into it within the podcast, but I just kind of wanted to go ahead and really come out of the gate strong with this so that you don't skip, so that you don't, halfway listen, so that you genuinely pay attention. Because again, this has been something that for me personally has changed my life completely, has changed my business life. And literally, I feel like I have a one up on anybody in the room whenever we're talking about sales and marketing. And, it's not because I'm the smartest guy in the room. That's certainly not it. It's just simply been the accumulation of information that I've acquired over the years. And today, I feel really generous. And today, I want to go ahead and give you the exact same kind of access that I've had. So I'm really excited about this episode. We're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff that is really going to move the needle. So without further ado, let's jump into the show.
Welcome to the Restoration Domination podcast, where you learn actionable advice that moves the needle and helps service-based businesses dominate. Here's your host, Rico Garcia Jr.
Guys, all right, so I'm back. Again, if you didn't get it from the intro, I am super, super, super stoked about this podcast. Number one of the main reasons is this is going to be a solo episode, so it's just literally you and I talking about how we can grow your business. And I'm going to go ahead and share some things that I've never shared on the podcast. I've never really spoken about it to anybody in business, and to kind of set the stage. And I mean this in like the most humbling of ways. Usually, through the podcast and just people knowing me through business, I get a lot of emails, a lot of Zoom calls, a lot of conferences, a lot of board meetings with, some high level executives within the restoration arena, chief marketing officers, lots of marketing agencies. And rarely do I walk away from a room or from a meeting without someone telling me, wow, like this is really bleeding edge stuff, or like, wow, how did you go ahead and just come up with this idea so quickly? Or wow, is that, how is that even possible for you to go ahead and, kind of put this marketing campaign and tie this into the sales campaign? And yeah, I'm tempted sometimes to be like, well, I guess I'm really smart. But the reality is that nothing could be further from the truth. It's not that I'm innovative, and it's certainly not that I'm smart. As a matter of fact, in a lot of rooms that I'm at, I really feel like I'm the least educated in the business. But when it comes down to marketing and sales, I've just accumulated a lot of information over the years that I've paid a lot of money to be in those rooms so that I could be a student and so that I can learn. And today I want to share that with you. And what kind of inspired this podcast is, and I've got a couple of props to show you. So if you're listening on on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you're listening on podcasts, just kind of bear with me because again, I want to show the camera a couple of things that we have. And one of these is it's this book called The Prosperity Bible, and I have it here because mainly, first of all, it's several books built into a volume. I actually got this as a Christmas gift several years ago, and it has. I was reading, kind of looking through the front cover, and just seeing some of the books that were in here. And one which I read several years ago, which I think is amazing, is called Acres of Diamonds, and which I highly recommend. If you've never read that book, definitely, it's so tiny. You could definitely get through it very, very quick. But Acres of Diamonds really talks about just where are you, right? As in life and business, and just what's underneath your feet. Right. A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we're constantly thinking, oh, the grass is always greener on the other side, or we're using something or someone else that we're not really familiar with and just kind of gauging their success from afar. And a lot of times this leads to us not being so fulfilled in our business, or, and a lot of times this happens when we're talking about marketing and sales, right? Because if you had better marketing, you had more sales, odds are is you'd be like, okay, cool. Everything I'm touching turns to gold. I'm good. I'm happy. There's really nothing to envy out there. But the reason why as entrepreneurs, we kind of, feel that way sometimes is because we don't know what other companies are doing, and we don't know what their marketing strategy is, or we don't know how they are getting so much information and so much inspiration that they can go ahead and execute in their business. Now, for all of those restoration pros out there, right? For all the public adjusters out there, I know that we consistently say that our business is different. I want to assure you, before we move on deeper into the podcast, that your business is no different than any other industry, any other business. Yes, there's TPA work. Yes, there's insurance billing. Yes, your repeat customers may not be as high as if you sold, a trinket or, air filters or whatever, right? Yes, there are some differences, just like there's, differences in any other arena, right? Like, unless you're a dentist, like, you're not pulling teeth, so every business has their own intricacies. But as a general rule of thumb, when it comes down to sales and marketing, there's clues that are everywhere and that companies have explored, that they've tested, they've spent millions of dollars doing. And what our job is as a business owner is to decipher what's happening on the outside with other businesses, with other great entrepreneurs, dissect those ideas, and then bring them in-house. And then if you're a really good entrepreneur, you're really fast to execute. You don't make excuses for yourself. So again, as a restoration pro, as a public adjuster, whatever it is, whoever you are that's listening, right? Maybe you're just a tech and you're looking to go ahead and, learn more about the business. Well, then this podcast is definitely going to be for you, because this is the one skill set, or the several skill sets, that everybody needs. And that is the need for new, fresh, and innovative ideas. Let me put it to you this way. As a business owner, we know that it feels like there's not enough hours in the day, right? We've got our personal lives, our family lives, we've got our business lives, we're managing projects, we're putting out fires consistently. There's so much to learn within the industry to keep up with current trends. And then above and beyond that, you actually have to focus on new and innovative ideas on how you can build and scale your business, right? How you can just stay ahead of inflation, how you can, earn more revenue, how you can keep customers happier, how you can get more customers, how you can get those customers that you've gotten and have them refer you more customers. So there's all of these like moving pieces. And for a lot of us, it's really overwhelming. But the biggest key to success here, and where I think most entrepreneurs fail, myself included, is because we have all of these things that are pulling at us, we do not have as much time as we should to dedicate to other great entrepreneurs, other great business owners that maybe are, a few steps or several steps ahead of us, that have gone through what we've gone through, and that have, seen massive amounts of success with their sales and their marketing. So then the question is, what do you do? Do you just rely on your own intuition? Do you rely on, divine inspiration at some point? Maybe, right? And hopefully you read, and hopefully you're listening to podcasts like this, because if you're listening to this and you're watching this, you're certainly one of the winning group. You're not one of the bozos that just, is resting on the laurels or hoping that, something miraculous happens in their business. So, kudos to you. But really, that's what we do. We have to find and source information that's actually going to move the needle. One of my biggest secrets to business, regardless of the industry that I've ever been in, is understanding what my role really is. And that is, how do I get in front of customers? And then how do I convert those customers so that I can sell them, fill in the blank, fill it in the service. Maybe that's water mitigation. Maybe it's a digital service, like whatever the case may be, fill in the blank. And that is always the biggest race, because now we have all of this, what feels daunting, which is digital marketing. And now, of course, you've got TikTok. You've got your Instagram, you've got your Facebook, you've got your YouTube, you've got podcasts, you've got all of these different things. And then, of course, your basic website, and then the SEO, and then the blog articles. And then, of course, and there's still old school marketing, right? I mean, who doesn't want to put out a yard sign every once in a while because Timmy down the street said that it was a great idea? Or what about, sending out a postcard to a particular neighborhood because, you feel that that's one of your honey holes. And the list literally goes on. But how do we decipher what's good and what's bad? Where do we get some of these ideas? And more importantly, how do we take these ideas and get them from not just being a theoretical idea, but how do we see real physical proof, real testimonials of people that have used these strategies that gives us enough confidence, right? At least that initial push, that confidence to take that first step to say, you know what, if that worked for their business, I know for a fact that it could work for my business. Where do you get that information? Where do you source it from? And sure, you could try to find YouTube, but if you don't know what you're looking for, how are you ever going to find it? You could try going to, Barnes and Noble or the Amazon Kindle store and try to find a book on it. But if you don't really know what you're looking for, how are you going to find, that how are you going to fill that void in your business? And that's where one of the best resources that I want to share with you today. And I want to go ahead and give you a tremendous amount of value that I think is going to pay you dividends just year over year over year. One of those things is this. Let me just show you this folder that I have. And this is only one of the folders that I have. This is a white, big, 3-ring binder. And you can see it's like filled with all of these booklets. And these booklets are monthly newsletters they're called the NO B.S. newsletter, right? Magnetic Marketing Newsletter. So, and this is written by a gentleman by the name of Dan Kennedy. Now, Dan Kennedy has, for as long as I can remember, has been recognized as one of the absolute best marketers on the planet, from not only direct mail, but all through continuity, through speaking on stages. And literally, this guy has created marketing campaigns for some of the biggest brands that most of us know. And he's done it in a direct response format. Now, for some of those veterans out there that may have been in this industry, in the carpet cleaning industry, in the restoration industry for quite some time, there's this name that I throw out every once in a while. And for some reason, it's kind of like this long lost name within the industry, which is Joe Polish. And Joe Polish was, I believe he was his marketing agency was called Piranha Marketing. And Piranha Marketing, a lot of his methodologies, which, mind you, to kind of give you context, if you don't know who Joe Polish is one of these. He was a carpet cleaner. He was a broke carpet cleaner. And he really took on the direct marketing approach for carpet cleaning and restoration. And at the time, he was a student of this individual by the name of Gary Halbert, which is a great copywriter, as well as Dan Kennedy. Okay. And what he did was he took these direct marketing principles and really started implementing it into his business. So, and by the way, this book called Magnetic Marketing, How to Attract a Flood of New Customers That Pay, Stay, and Refer, by again, Dan Kennedy, is an amazing book. I would definitely recommend for you to read it. And not only that, if you stick around to the end of the podcast, I'm also going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and just get this book for free. All you have to do is just cover the shipping and handling, but you can get the actual book for free. So you're not going to want to miss that. So the bottom line is like this guy is like one of the most respected individuals and minds within the marketing and sales industry. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today is the amount of value that these newsletters have given to me and my business and the amount of money that these newsletters have made me. And I just want to share a couple of those with you here today to really kind of drive the point home, because I know like people are like, oh man, like where should I get new ideas from? Where can I start implementing this? Now, first and foremost, this is a monthly newsletter. It's actually, I get two of them. I get this one that's called the NO B.S. Magnetic Marketing Letter. This just drops every single month. And then I also get this other newsletter that's called Behind the Scenes, which is a little bit more on the digital side. And then how do you create the actual funnels and the follow-up and the text messaging sequences and all of this stuff for so many different industries and so many different businesses that literally every single month, it's like I know that I'm getting money-making ideas in my mailbox. And I say mailbox because again, it is a physical newsletter, which is actually quite nice. For me, it's a constant reminder of, hey, you know what? This is my time for me personally, just to spend that time to read some really good, high octave, high level entrepreneurial talk with some great questions that actually matter to me as a business owner and some real case studies of how certain marketing tactics are working, and more importantly, how you can go ahead and implement them too. So to kind of give you an idea about this, I mean, just as one example, if right now there was a pool builder that was making, let's say, $1.7 million, and you can go and, you knew that he went from $1.7 million to $14 million using a couple of marketing strategies, doing pools. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, that if you were privy to that marketing strategy, that maybe you can go ahead and implement that in your business, or there's going to be a little nugget there that maybe if you were to implement into your business could totally change the game. And if not add $1 million, maybe add 2 or 3 or maybe $500,000 to your business. And the best part too is that in this particular case study, they actually go through like the entire psychology of what's being done. And this individual's business is actually growing year over year by, between 20 to 40%. So not only is it that big jump from 1.7 to over $14 million, but again, it's that blueprint that we're looking at. Where else would you get that kind of information? Right? Here's another newsletter that I got, which this one was probably one of my favorites because I talk a lot about this on the show, where our restoration business was primarily cash, right? And yes, I'm a little fortunate. I get that because we are in the South Florida area, and some people consider this, part of the United States where, at least in this area of Florida, that's fairly affluent. There's, access to, not only old money in Palm Beach and tons of it, but a lot of new money that moves in from other states, and, they're down in Miami or Boca, Fort Lauderdale, what have you. But marketing to the affluent, why would you want to market to the affluent? And this is part of the thing that most entrepreneurs in our space don't really ask. We're like, well, what kind of customer do you want? They're like, well, I just want a customer that has a water loss. Well, right. But wouldn't you rather, if all things were created equal, if you had a water loss, wouldn't you rather it be a $2 million home versus a, $500,000 home? I mean, wouldn't it be better to be in a $10 million home than, a $750,000 home? Of course it is. Right? The material is more expensive. You have to take more care. Overall, your invoice is going to be bigger, which means odds are they want quality service. So the bottom line is like, what if you had a roadmap on how to market to the affluent? right? What if you had a roadmap to direct mail and how to do direct mail the right way with a step-by-step guide on how to do it? That's what this newsletter is really all about. And I just want to share a couple of more with you before we move on. Or in this particular issue where it talks about winning direct mail postcard copy, right? Like the actual copy, the words that are printed, and actually see that in action and how it's affecting other people's businesses, right? So really getting this holistic view about marketing and sales and seeing other industries. And we're talking all sorts of industries, not just exclusive to restoration, right? But we're talking about, from real estate to agents to pool contractors, like I just showed you, and basically every other business in between. These are the kind of conversations that normally we don't have access to as entrepreneurs. But I would strongly suggest that if the next best thing other than talking to that entrepreneur physically is to learn about them, is to learn about their story, is to have them give this information and step by step showing you exactly what led to their success. And that's kind of the beauty of the time that we live in, right? I mean, we live in a day and age where, people are giving that kind of information away. And that's what this newsletter does every single month, delivered right to your mailbox with brand new innovative ideas that could really move the needle for your business. All right, so now I want to go ahead and kind of give you something for free, right? Like we made some really bold claims about, in the beginning of the podcast about how I was going to give you $19,900 plus worth of value just for listening to this podcast today. And I'm going to go ahead and make good on that promise. Now, if you're watching the show in YouTube, underneath in the video description, there's going to be a link where I'm going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and sign up for the No B.S. marketing newsletter, absolutely free on a trial. You can get your first couple of issues. Plus, you're going to get some really, really, really amazing gifts that are going to help you along in your journey. And this way, it's not you committing to anything. It's just you saying, maybe, sure, why not? Maybe maybe I'll find some answers that I was looking for that could really help me in my business. And just kind of walk through this real quick. Not only will, once you go ahead and click on that link and you go ahead and just say maybe, and you go ahead and get your most incredible free gift ever, not only are you going to get the No B.S. Marketing newsletter, which comes with, secrets from Dan Kennedy himself. You get Renegade Millionaire secrets. You get copywriting secrets. So that way, if you know, what's the right words to say and what actually moves people, you get the magnetic internet marketing updates, and so much more. But then above and beyond that, you're also going to get a behind the scenes walkthrough, which is basically another newsletter that shows you behind the scenes on how these funnels and how these follow-up sequences and how these marketing campaigns are actually working out for people. And this will include, sales funnel secrets, traffic secrets, and it's just so much more. But then what was really cool to me several years ago, and again, I've been a member, a diamond member. I'm actually a diamond member on No B.S. marketing. But a gold member I've been for years. And what really shocked me in the beginning was just how much information there was. And then more importantly, like everywhere that I would turn, whenever I was thinking about marketing, whenever I was thinking about sales, there was always something that can kind of give me that initial prompt. And there was a real true business behind it that then I can execute on, right? So someone else that had already proven the concept, and then I already had the roadmap. Someone who had proven the concept, all I had to do was basically copy and paste, right? Put my own spin on it, make sure that it met my customer avatar. And there was so much there. And one of the free gifts that you're going to get is a digital access to basically a library of Dan Kennedy's body of work, which is absolutely amazing. And some of these, just to name off a few, is magnetic marketing on demand. This basically means that whenever it is that you want to watch, you can go ahead and watch, and it covers with, seminars, webinars, conference calls that have been recorded, talking about very specific subjects on how you can go ahead and implement some of these strategies in your business. Another one of the free gifts that you're going to get is this program called Brass Balls. Now, I know that some people may be offended by that. If that's you, probably not going to go through the program anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And this is really going to be one of those things that fast tracks you from basically a screeching halt to, very fast wealth and, and acquiring new clientele pretty much on a dime, right? You're also going to get .com secrets. If you're familiar with Russell Brunson, .com secrets live are webinar recordings and actually event recordings that you're going to get. That's a $97 value there. Plus, you're also going to get Renegade Millionaire time management system. Okay, so the Renegade Millionaire time management system, and this is how to get the most out of your time. You're also going to get expert secrets, and just the list just goes on. There's another program there which you also are going to have access to totally free, which is called the Midas Touch. And again, once you click on the link, you're going to see all of this information listed below. But I just kind of want to give you a taste for what it is that you are going to have access to. And more importantly, it's basically totally free, right? Not only do you get all of those, access to all of that on your trial membership, which is $97, but this case, it's totally free. Okay. And so that basically puts you at $19,997 worth of value. But in my opinion, the real juice is in all of these glorious ideas that you're getting each and every single month that you could really start implementing in your business. Because again, seeing is believing. And then also having access to people telling their story. You just don't know which one you're going to connect with and which marketing strategy it is that you should start implementing in your business. One of these great strategies has been how to merge the digital aspect with the physical aspect. And the restoration arena is one of those arenas that frankly has struggled quite a bit with that. Not only in direct to consumer, but getting to the people that actually have access to your customer, right? This could be the property management company, right? This could be your facilities manager. This could be, all these people that you're having your business development team run out and shake hands with. What if you could go ahead and 10x their business and their overall output just because you or your organization is so damn good at making that initial contact, but then on the back end, using, the proper marketing techniques, whether that's direct mail, chunky mail, grabbing mail, whatever the case may be. And, you have this insane follow-up that it almost makes it impossible for them not to do business with you. Like if I asked you what was an box, right? Something that you could send to your customer or that person that has access to your customers. This could be an insurance agent that you want them to go ahead and send you business, right? What is it that you're doing that actually wows them? And typically when I ask this question, a lot of people are like, well, I really focus in on the details and I really care about how they feel and what their needs want. And I want to show how professional I am and how much equipment and how quickly I can get there. And listen, guys, I get it. All of that shit is amazing. All of that is important. But really, none of that is emotional, right? And we can make the argument that like, hey, if you just sit here and you talk real nice and steady and confident and, you show them the game plan and you provide them with, this emergency response plan. And every once in a while, you invite them to whatever that's all great. But none of that is emotional because most other people can do that, or at least they can say that they can do that, right? Whereas if you can market to them in an emotional way, something that makes them take a step back and say, wow, what is this? That's where things get really interesting. And that's where people start giving you an opportunity to then show off how amazing you really are. But everything up until that first transaction is really just an audition. You're just trying to figure out, do they like you? Do they like your sales rep? Is there something really that you can go ahead and help them with? Like, that's really all you're doing. So if you can go ahead and one up the competition via the way that you're communicating with them, to just make them giggle, to make them laugh, to take them back a little bit, to be like, wow, the way that their follow-up sequences are just insane. If they're that good here, they've got to be amazing on the back end. And that's the key, right? For a lot of us in the restoration arena, we want to talk about how good we are once the problem shows up. But there's this other side of things that a lot of people think about, which is, well, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if your marketing on the front end is really, really good, and to the point where it's like, man, these people are really on their game. Look at the follow-up messages I'm getting. Look at this thing that I got in the mail. Look at this thing that I got, sent to my email inbox. Look at this gift that was given to me from this organization. Like, wow, look at this program that they have for referral partners. And, if you can get a customer to say, wow, this is actually really good, I should probably start implementing some of this in my business. Or I know Timmy down the street who has a business. If they did this would be amazing. You see how now your company starts building reputation, because everybody's concerned about that. Company rep, right? Branding is what they call it. People are so focused on branding without giving value. Where I always said on another podcast, and this is actually Dan Kennedy, No B.S. newsletter, is actually where I've gotten that concept from. Branding comes through great marketing. Your marketing, if done properly, could already set the stage for the brand and the image and the reputation that you want to have. But it all starts there. So not only that, I mentioned before that you can go ahead and get the book, just cover shipping and handling as well. Once you go ahead and get signed up for, so you can go ahead and test drive the newsletter to see how much it impacts your life. You could also go ahead and get a free copy of that book as well, alongside with, and unfortunately I don't have that book, but it's pretty much something like this. This is actually the Diamond Fax. This is all of Dan Kennedy's business faxes that he would send out from 2012 to 2019. And this is just like, a weekly fax that he would send out to all of his gold and diamond members, where it was just every single page here that I'm flipping through. And this is a pretty thick book for those that can't actually see what it is that I'm doing. I mean, we're talking about, over 429 pages of just pure gold and business ideas and concepts and stories and tidbits that you can go ahead and implement to your business. But more or less, the 74 swipe file is more or less this book. And this is basically a play-by-play with photos and everything that you would need to really formulate a great funnel, a great customer journey. Have you ever been on somebody's website and be like, wow, this is really put together well? Or maybe you've bought something through, online, and you visited a website and their upsell sequence was amazing. Their subscription model was amazing. Like, everything was just done perfectly. Well, that's going to show you step by step each one of those. And that's called a swipe file, where literally you could just take it, copy it, put it into your ClickFunnels account or your web builder account, and basically start mimicking that for yourself. So what's the big secret then? Really, the big secret to success, in my opinion, is to have access to a treasure trove of information consistently, and having access to those conversations, to be a fly on the wall, to constantly be connecting ideas in your brain for your business and drawing inspiration consistently. And the beauty about the newsletter and why it worked so well for me is it was a constant reminder. I knew that once a month I could go to my mailbox, and even if I had forgotten about it, I would open it up and be like, oh, that's right. Let's see what's in it this month. Let's see what we can go ahead. And that was my working on my business time. So this is my challenge to you. I challenge you to kind of get out of your comfort zone, right? If you're kind of on the edge and you're like, I don't know, like a restoration business, it's different. Trust me, it's not. Find out for yourself. Read the information, make you see, prove the fact that your business is in fact so different. Because I could tell you from being in the business, it's really, really not. I invite you to go ahead and, be that fly on the wall, to go ahead and start exploring new ideas. And again, from my perspective, and Lord knows that I've had so many conversations with entrepreneurs talking about marketing. Yeah, I have my own spin on things, but 98% of it has honestly come from resources just like this. And I've never really spoken about it open in public. But again, this podcast, I really wanted to go ahead and make it special. And I wanted to go ahead and share the same opportunity with you because I feel like there are so many marketing agencies out there. I feel like there are so many consultants out there that look, they're a business, they need to make a living. I get that. And they do great, amazing things for a lot of people. But I'm also of the belief that you as a business owner should have access to this, and that there's a lot of information that is behind a paywall. And I'm talking about a massive paywall, thousands and thousands of dollars, that frankly isn't really that special, right? Like how to properly market to an agent or a facilities manager. Should that really be behind a $10,000 paywall? Like, should that really be, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 in consulting? I mean, maybe the accountability is worth it, but the actual strategies, is that worth it? Finding the right prospects for your business using LinkedIn. And I've spoken about this on other podcasts. Like if there's like faster, quicker, more innovative ways to do that, shouldn't you know how to do that? Like, shouldn't you be able to know how to do that for pennies on the dollar, not, behind some consultant paywall of, hey, you pay us X amount and we'll teach you how to prospect, using these automated things. Like, no, probably not. That's why this is so valuable to me and why I hold it so dear to my heart and why I wanted to go ahead and share it, because 90% of the way you can get there just with the right information. And that's what the No B.S. Marketing newsletter, magnetic marketing newsletter, is really all about. And I really think that it'll change your overall perspective. So I wanted to share that with you today because it's something that, again, like I said, I haven't really spoken about as far as it being one of my main resources, but I wanted to put that out there because I know that there's a lot of aggressive dominators out there that are looking to go ahead and take their business to the next level. And I want to share the secret sauce with you. And I'm also a little tired of having conversations with a lot of, some of these people in the industry that are in fact the gurus, but really know very, very little. And they use lingo that a lot of restorers and a lot of contractors, they don't understand, in order to kind of justify how much it is that they're charging for their services, when in reality the information is out there and it could be hand delivered into your mailbox each and every single month, and you could blow their performance out of the water each and every single time, and no one's really talking about it. And I wanted to share it with you. So here is your official call to action. If you stuck around till now, this is what I need you to do. In the video description, as well as in the show notes below, click the link below. Go ahead and get your trial. All you have to do is say maybe. You're not committed to anything. You don't have to spend any money. Try this thing out and then email me a couple of months from now and let me know how this has affected your business. I feel like if you pull the trigger, you're going to be one of those individuals that, and actually takes action, is going to be one of those individuals that I'm going to be able to read that email and be like, holy shit, this really changed my business and the way that I looked at it. Go ahead and collect all of your free gifts. There's over $19,000 of free gifts and video material that's on demand that you can watch at your discretion. You can jump around. I can promise you that every time you sit down, you're going to walk away with a major nugget for you and your business. So make sure that you go ahead and click that button below. And more importantly, I will catch you guys on the next one. You know how to keep it. Hustle, hack, dominate. Catch you guys.
You've been listening to Restoration Domination, your #1 resource for tips, tricks, and hacks to help your business grow. Subscribe to our channel and follow us for more Restoration Domination. And follow our host at Rico Garcia Jr. on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Till next time, this is Restoration Domination. Hustle, hack, dominate.